Hey, what's up everyone? Colby Cheese here. It's time for yet another episode of the Dark Souls 2 full game walkthrough. This time we are moving on through the Lost Bastille right after beating that Flexile sentry. So you'll notice that I've currently got 2 waypoints to head to, and that is because we decided to kill that Pursuer Knight very early on in the game. But for now, let's go ahead and start from the holding cells area here, and we're going to come around into the backside. Now the reason we're doing this, couple of items that we can find along the way. Mainly, we will pick up an Estus Flask Shard, and those are always nice to have. Now, you can jump down there and kill that guy, but you'll also fall through, and it hurts you quite a bit. For now, let's grab a kill onto the Hade Knight. Hade Knight. I wonder how you say that exactly. This guy's a little... Whoa! That damage was a little rough. Woo! Okay. Okay, I got wrecked. Like, pretty bad there. So, let's play that a little bit better. This is normally not so bad. Usually when you fight a spear-wielding enemy, if you just block, it messes him up pretty bad and gives you a pretty huge window for attacking him back. Since we are doing a little bit of a weird character here that relies only on dodging, I have to be kind of perfect. And those spear-wielding characters generally have really fast pokes. So let's see what we can do. I'm going to pull out the, okay, let's do the dagger. And this thing, see if I can get a backstab on him. Come on. Oh, no. Okay, there we go. Dodge it out. And roll. And there's the backstab. And the huge crit damage. 676. That's okay. It's decent. We'll give him a quick 1-2 poke. Let him do his... Oh, nope. Come on. Alright, got it. So, that was close. I just have to watch out for that backlash of his second or third strike. But 2 backstabs will do it, and that gives me the Hade Knight Spear. Now this one's pretty cool. It's just like the Hade Knight Sword, and then in that it will give you the lightning damage. And so I guess if you're going to be like a Dex and Faith build, the spear can be pretty good. I'll just use it for the sake of having that poke range. But, you know, it's not really the spear of choice that I would use for my particular Dex build or whatever. In any case... Moving on here, you're going to have to deal with a couple of Dugs. If you break these things, you'll see, well, this one in particular, you get a little item, hop down. A Leering Skull, that's one of those items where if you throw it, all the monsters will run and gawk at it. It's kind of like that noise-making firecracker from Left 4 Dead, and that all the zombies will just run to it. Of course, this one doesn't explode. All right now, sir. This guy will drop down on your head, so you'll notice I actually was ready for that. Now, if you walk around the backside to the left here, this is where the Estus Flask Shard resides. So go ahead and jump back here and pick that bad boy up. Booyah! And a large Titanite Shard. So large Titanite Shard. Gonna keep collecting those. You only get enough early on to update one of your weapons through to the chunk stage, the Titanite chunk stage. And anyways, you're going to open up this. This is the little shortcut that connects the 2 Lost Bastille areas. I'm going to take out 2 dogs along the way, so take care to do that. These guys are annoying. Sometimes you'll attack with a slow weapon and they'll jump right past you. Luckily for us, I have some quick strike weapons. Now, right here, you'll notice a crack in the wall. The only way to get that crack in the wall is to actually blow it up with a barrel. I think you can use a black firebomb as well, maybe? I'm not sure. I thought I had used that once, but here we go. So this guy, he's going to kick the barrel down. What the? Okay. So the physics didn't work out so well there. The barrel will run into the wall. I'm going to actually have to reset before I can open up the shortcut to Macduff's workshop. Not a problem. We will get to it shortly. Let me just go ahead and run my way back up to the opposite direction and take out all of the guys along the way. So this is the back way, which I usually actually don't come this direction. I'll generally go sit at Macduff's workshop, and then I'll teleport to the opposite way, and that's how I like to approach this zone. But since he messed up my whole barrel strategy, we're just going to call... Okay, there you go. There's a little buff for your weapon. You only get 1 of them early on, but if you're confident enough in your skills to kill a boss... Okay, you know what? That's fine. I got knocked off the side of the wall, and so... I'm just going to go ahead and warp to the next Lost Bastille area and come around from the backside. What I was going to say is, if you're confident with your skills in beating a boss, you can use that weapon buff that I just picked up there, the little lightning buff for your weapon. It does a lot of damage, especially if you put it on a fast attacking weapon as well. And you can clear out a boss pretty quickly with it. So I'm going to come around here. Now, before you go over that little chunk of rock, you want to head this direction and grab that little large titanite shard, and then you can come back this side, and there's a box. I don't know what that's supposed to say. I always for some reason, I just feel inclined to read all of these messages on the ground, even if I don't need to. So antiquated key, that'll be useful in just a little bit. Go ahead and work these dogs down a little bit. There's a guy that's inside that room, and he stands up on a ledge. He'll shoot you. Normally, I forgot to do it this time, but normally I'll before I drop down, I'll look in that window and I'll kill him, and then I can actually shoot the dogs from higher up. Again, I don't have my bows because I keep forgetting to get arrows. We'll do that eventually, no big deal. All right, climbing up the ladder, and stab. He's dead. Those guys can be a pretty big problem if they start to kind of amass on you, which is what you'll see in just a second. You'll see what I'm talking about. This is one of the harder areas in the game if not approached correctly. Well, not this, but in just a little bit, there is an area that is very difficult if you make the wrong choices. So I'll try to discuss that here in a little bit. And we're gonna run on through here, just roll through the barrels. Make sure you're careful when you attack. If you attack those barrels, those are explosive. You can actually take a lot of damage and kill yourself. And this lady here is the same one that we talked to right before we head into No Man's Wharf. And since we talked to her a second time, she gives us a human effigy. I believe the third time that we talk to her, we get a ring of steel protection, and I think that will pretty much finish off her storyline, but we'll get to that eventually. So I'm just kind of chatting with her. Make sure to exhaust the dialogue. Now, if you turn around, you'll see a ladder here. The only way to get to it, you just kind of slow walk up the side of this little pathway, and I think we have like a large titanite shard or something useful like that in this little corpse. Yep, exactly, a large titanite shard. Always happy to grab those. Like I said, there's only a few places you can grab those until really later into the game. So let's finish this bad boy up. I'm gonna grab my souls just in case I get knocked off again, which is something that I almost rolled off again. So let's not get knocked off the sides. Cool thing about coming this direction is you'll notice that everything is facing the other way as they are expecting you to come up from that way. This is kind of the back entrance, so to speak. So let's clear off all the dogs. And this guy, you gotta be careful. Let's pull him away from the barrel, because if he swings, he'll blow up the barrel. So you'll notice I just stab him to get his attention. And then we're gonna finish him off away from that barrel. And I'll be the one that kicks the barrel down. So hopefully I can get it done correctly. So let's just try and get it, make sure, yeah, there we go. I kind of give it another shove, and it didn't blow up. So this allows me to, okay, I have like 9 iron arrows. I think that'll, oh, fire arrows, yeah. Fire arrow will blow it up. I don't like to use my fire arrows right now. Boom! But that will definitely set off an explosion. So if you have a bomb, fire arrow, or fire sword, you can use the fire longsword that we grabbed in that first or second playthrough, and that will do the trick nicely. And there you go. There is your next bonfire. Now, before I sit down at this, I'm going to go ahead and light up this torch here. And here's a cool trick for you guys. If you light up this torch and then go rest at the bonfire once again, so we're going to go do that. We're going to go rest at the bonfire. Now that we've lit up that torch, you'll notice that that blacksmith guy, he's actually moved to this next area. He just loves flame. So that allows you to open up the chest. He's actually sitting on a chest, that chest right over there. And you get to now loot it. It's a hammer, which is actually a pretty good hammer. You have to kind of be a strength build to wield it properly. But it is a very high damage hammer without even being upgraded. So it's pretty good to have. Craftsman hammer and, of course, Twinkling Titanite. Twinkling Titanite being used to update those special weapons. And I think that one actually does use Twinkling Titanite to upgrade it. So I'm going to go ahead and just move right on over to the Lost Bastille again, now that I've opened up that shortcut. And what I did here, you'll notice, I went back to town. I just skipped it so you don't have to watch me buying things. But I went back to town and I bought as many arrows as I could afford. So this is going to be nice. I can shoot people with my arrows. I can be a bow ninja, essentially, at this point. And I've got a couple of iron arrows to hold me over. I don't use those iron arrows unless I'm trying, well, some encounters in the game, like if you're trying to break pots, large pots or things like that, I think those can only be broken with iron arrows. So I try to keep a few iron arrows, and it's not like they're unlimited supplies. So I just kind of hold on to them as much as possible. There's no real good reason for me coming in here and shooting this guy. Just felt like it was fun. So it's nice to be able to kill things from range sometimes. Even if you're a strength build and you plan on doing mostly melee, occasionally you're going to run into a situation where there's an enemy that is just kind of unreachable or is just easier to deal with from range, or even just to pull a monster just to get their attention so that you don't run into a room and grab like 4 enemies. You kind of do that pull strategy where you shoot one guy and that one guy gets aggravated at you and comes at you. So this is the part I was talking about earlier that is very difficult. You walk in this room and there's going to be 2 guys right in front of you that you saw run at you, but then there's like 3 guys to the left. You'll notice there's just a horde of these guys with these long reach on their swords. Pretty much the best way I've found to deal with these guys is to skip them. This is actually the first time I've killed them. So strategy number 2, get a long spear and poke them to death in that corridor and don't let them surround you. So yes, spears are really good for those type of situations where you need the reach. Now if you walk in here, there's actually 2 more guys. Now imagine if you had just ran in here, you would have those 4 guys plus these 2 guys. And one of the problems that people do is they'll come in this room and they open this door. And that's a very bad idea. You don't open the door because not only did you have those 4 guys plus those other 2 guys, then you have 2 more guys behind that door that will always run at you. And it's just extremely hard to manage. What I usually do when I'm going to fight the bosses, I'll just run straight into this room, run straight to this ladder, come around the backside. Those guys won't aggro you as long. Oh man, the spear backstab looks so cool. That's the first time I saw it. All right. Anyways, those guys won't aggro you unless you attack. I'm just attacking them to show you. Anyhow, this is the boss encounter. I won't tell you how to fight it. So if you want to beat it, then you can click my link below. That will show you the strategy. This is one of the hardest boss fights in the game to do by yourself, hands down. Unless you're doing my last build, which was my block strength build, and using like a hammer. Hammer does a lot of damage to those Ruin Sentinels. This was very difficult for this character without blocking and using these little pokey swords. It was extremely difficult. So if you need help with the fight, you can watch my video that'll teach you how to do it. But you'll notice that there's all of these little secret doors. I just picked up Hush, which is which is a spell that allows you to, I think, quiet your footsteps or something like that. Now, if you keep clicking on these walls, it looks like, yeah, there's 2 more secret doors here. One here that has literally nothing in it, which is kind of a troll. And then over here, you got a rusted coin, nothing extremely special. And I think that's all of the secret doors. So the one that leads up to that top side there, which I just saw, and then that is pretty much it. I don't think there's any more. Yeah, that's about it. Now this part, you can die. So you're like, oh yeah, I beat the boss. It was really hard. But if you walk through here, I actually died there. Watch. Boop. There's a little trap there, or some kind of invisible mob. You can never see the mob. I don't know what it is, honestly, but it explodes. For now, though, that is the end of this particular walkthrough. Hope you guys got something out of it and enjoyed my Bastille walkthrough. Next time, we will be moving on to the end of the area. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'll see you around next time. Peace out.